Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're exploring an absolute mind-boggling anomaly. I want you to picture a massive modern country in your head right now. We're talking sprawling, neon-lit metropolis centers, thousands of miles of complex, winding highways, towering skyscrapers that literally pierce the clouds, and millions upon millions of people thriving every single day. But here's the massive catch. It has absolutely zero natural rivers. No flowing fresh water, not one natural stream. It sounds impossible, right?
So how does a country actually survive without rivers? Let's just dive right into this crazy reality. How does a whole nation function, let alone thrive, without a single flowing natural stream of fresh water anywhere? It's a question that completely challenges everything we think we know about how human societies are built and sustained.
And this intense contrast is exactly what defines Saudi Arabia. On one hand, you've got all the hallmarks of a thriving modern civilization. On the other, a stark, wildly arid geographic reality. It actually stands as the largest country on Earth that entirely lacks a renewable surface freshwater system. There's no Nile, no Amazon, no Mississippi. For a landmass of this staggering size, that is a massive geographic anomaly.
Let's start with Section 1, Kingdom of Dry Riverbeds, looking at the geographic reality.
To really wrap our heads around this, we have to look at the extreme desert climate. Since there aren't any permanent rivers, the landscape is carved with things called wadis. Basically, a wadi is just a dry riverbed. Now, they aren't always empty. During those super rare sudden desert storms, a wadi can actually experience violent flash floods, momentarily bringing the desert to life. But that water vanishes almost as quickly as it arrives, evaporating in the intense heat. Most of the time, they just sit there, completely dry, offering nowhere near enough reliable surface water to actually sustain a modern society.
Moving on to Section 2, Engineering a Desert Oasis and the Futuristic Solutions Making It Happen.
So if nature isn't handing over the water, how on earth do they get it? Well, to make up for the lack of rivers, Saudi Arabia survives using a highly engineered three-part survival strategy. It's honestly like science fiction. First, they tap into underground fossil water aquifers. These are ancient, hidden reserves of water trapped deep beneath the sand for thousands of years. Second, they deploy massive industrial-scale desalination plants. And third, they weave this whole operation together with an incredibly advanced infrastructure network. They're effectively conjuring daily drinking water right out of the salty ocean and deep ancient stone.
The sheer scale of this operation is, well, it's totally staggering. Saudi Arabia consistently ranks right at the top as one of the world's absolute largest producers of desalinated water. I mean, we're talking about pulling millions of cubic meters of seawater from the coast every single day, boiling or filtering all that salt out, and pumping it directly into the cities. Without this sci-fi level technology running around the clock 24/7, modern life there would just grind to an absolute halt.
But of course, there's a catch. Let's look at Section 3, the hidden cost of survival and a looming threat.
You see, this modern miracle comes with some really intense hidden challenges. First off, the expense. Desalination is incredibly costly to maintain. It's a huge budget item. Second is the energy use. Boiling and filtering millions of gallons of seawater requires a massive, continuous supply of power to keep those plants running day and night. And finally, remember those underground fossil water aquifers we talked about? Well, the reality is they are completely non-renewable. Once they're pumped dry, that's it. They don't refill. They are just gone. And as climate change drives global temperatures even higher, these financial and environmental costs make water security one of the nation's most urgent ticking clocks.
Which brings us to Section 4, Redefining Human Civilization Through Historical Contrast.
Let's take a quick step back and think about basic human history. Historically, great civilizations have almost exclusively formed around major rivers. Think about it. Egypt was practically born from the mighty Nile. Mesopotamia completely relied on the Tigris and the Euphrates. Ancient China flourished alongside the Yangtze. Water always dictates where humans settle, where they trade, and where they build power. So Saudi Arabia's rise to a modern global powerhouse, it entirely bypasses this fundamental rule of geography. It's wild.
Yet, against all historical logic and honestly overwhelming geographic odds, millions of people wake up, go to work, and thrive there every single day without a natural freshwater network. They have no permanent rivers, no babbling brooks weaving through their backyards, yet life just flourishes. It totally forces us to rethink what a livable environment actually looks like in the 21st century.
In this part of the world, survival depends not on nature, but on engineering, technology, and innovation.
This whole reality proves just how far human adaptation can actually go when faced with some of the most extreme environments on our planet. It is an absolute, undeniable testament to human ingenuity.
But as we wrap up this explainer, we really can't ignore that ticking clock of limited underground reserves and constantly rising global temperatures. So, I want to leave you with this to ponder. In a country that, by all geographic logic, shouldn't even exist as it does today, how long can human engineering truly hold back the desert? I mean, how long can our technology actually continue to outpace nature?